Hello, my friends. I am standing in front of what I feel like is a super iconic wall for my dear friend. We are having the most fantastic California weekend, and I am introducing you to her garden. Let's say hello. Janey, hey girl, hey!
Hello, welcome to my garden.
Hello.
I am so excited you're here, Kate, and I can't wait to show you everything that's been growing, but don't look too closely because I've been a very busy girl and have not gotten to a lot of my weeds. So I'm just warning you all, it's not up to tip-top shape, but I don't care. I want to show you anyway.
No, this is dedicated to a real gardening channel, and real gardeners have weeds. Our work is never done.
Yeah, so let me introduce you to the orchard garden, otherwise known as the Best for the West garden. So in this garden, the focus is California appropriate, West Coast appropriate, which is dry, hot weather, which Kate is noticing right now and saying, girl, it is getting hot. And it's like, actually, it's a really nice day today.
Oh my gosh.
It's not too bad, but it's just a matter of, we have a different climate than the Pacific Northwest. We have a different climate than the South. We have a different climate than a lot of places because we are so dry and so hot. And I wanted this garden to reflect that. So you'll see I have a lot of Shasta daisies. I have some begonias. I have a lot of nymphophillas, some baptisias, some nepeta, some sedums, just really, really beautiful plants that are going to be okay in my garden. That if I forget to water one day or something goes wrong with my irrigation, they're not going to die immediately. Turn around, there's a hummingbird on the nymphophilla. You get that? Did you get it?
No. Oh, shoot. I hope that you've done a really, really beautiful job. And you know what's so fun? And I don't even know if you did this on purpose, but you have your oranges and you have all these pops of orange now.
Yes.
Did you think about that?
So I'm a sucker for orange now. I love orange. I don't know why I love it so much. It's just, oh look, another hummingbird.
Oh my God, we're in luck.
I know. So the hummingbirds are so happy with me and it makes me feel so good. So this is more of the nymphophilla, which is, I mean, it's fast.
Which variety is this one?
This is called Orange Blaze. And
gorgeous.
It is so amazing. It starts blooming in January and it just keeps going and it's so beautiful. And you can see I haven't even deadheaded it lately because I've been a busy girl and it still looks gorgeous. Right in front of there I have Cat's Pajamas Nepeta, which is this, if you look close, there's bees all over it.
Oh, I know. It is just like, it is an absolute hubbub of activity right now.
Yes.
They're so happy with you.
They're so happy and that makes me feel so good. I never really garden for pollinators, which is crazy to say because why would you not? But it's just a matter of I never thought about it until I had pollinators in my garden. And now it's like they bring a plant alive. If I see bees all over one of my plants, it looks like all of a sudden the plant has life to it. It's what happens to my orange trees when they start blooming earlier in the season. And it looks like the whole tree is buzzing and vibrating and alive. And I am obsessed with the pollinators here.
Do you feel like now that you have so many pollinator plants, like the diversity of your pollinators has taken off?
Oh, 100%.
It's like if you build it, they will come, and all of a sudden you're discovering new.
Yeah. So I moved into this property last August. And when I moved in here, when I say it was a barren wasteland, I mean it was a barren wasteland. Can you get the carpenter bee right here?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, I was looking at this big chunkamunka.
He's a big chubby one. Oh, well, I should say she, because the females are black and the males are gold. And the male ones are called teddy bear carpenter bees. And they are just the cutest little things. I love them. So when I first moved in here, there was nothing. And I had no bees and I had no hummingbirds. I had squirrels, which, not a fan of. And I was so sad and I didn't realize what was missing until I started planting agastache and some salvias and some sunflowers, and just all these plants that these pollinators absolutely love. And now it feels like my garden is actually waking up and there's something, it's alive. And it's really, Kate and I always talk, like we tend to speak the same language. So when I say something to you, you get it, right? And you immediately know what I'm saying. And it's like plants are alive. Plants have Plants have like life to it, and the pollinators just focus on that, and it just makes it that like I can see the life coming out of them. It's really fun. Come over this way and let me show you from this side. This right now is one of my favorite views in my garden.
Oh, and this is so lovely because right when you come in,
this is what you see.
This is what you see. And I love that you're doing a lot of like strappy layering. You know what I mean? You're doing these really big color moments. So you've got your verbena down front. So this is
raspberry superbena.
That's gorgeous.
And then behind that we have what's called a sun-credible sunflower. And these are just babies right now. They're gonna get massive and they're gonna branch and they're gonna be blooming from now until end of November. It's gonna be incredible. Then I have my hands down favorite plant ever in the entire world. This is called Plain the Blue Salvia. Now I just want you to look and see how many buds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I planted this plant literally 2 weeks ago.
Okay, this is insane because I was seeing it in your garden in the can.
4-inch can, nothing. And it's been in for 2 weeks.
And look at this giant. Okay, let's see if I can get a hand behind this. This thing is massive.
When I say this is one of the best plants ever developed, I mean it's one of the best plants ever developed. And it has just this beautiful classic green foliage, but when it like, how can you
This thing is really massive and I don't even know, like put your hand back there again.
Look at that.
Yeah, there we go. You know what? It's like the size of a buddleia.
And Kate, when I tell you that this is a baby one, they get up to 4 feet tall, these bloom spikes, right? And the other amazing thing about that plant is you have a little bit of shade, they'll handle that. You have sun, they'll handle that. It doesn't matter. It's just the best plant. It's called Plain the Blue Salvia.
Just a flexible little monster. Okay, can you tell me about this grass here? This,
so
like,
so you said
baby?
monster. You said monster.
Yes.
Again, my garden, I just planted up a lot of these plants. This is called Vertigo pennisetum. Are you familiar with it?
I have not planted or played with this.
Okay, when I tell you, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. This will be 9 feet tall in 2 months.
That's amazing. Did you grow this last year?
Yes. Well, I grew it at my last house.
Oh.
I called it my monster. That's
Love
what
it.
I called it,
Love
right?
it.
And for Halloween, we decorated it as a monster. We put eyes on it and a little hat on it. And it gets this deep, dark foliage and it's so incredibly beautiful. And at my last property, I didn't have enough room because I lived in a suburban yard with, you know, a tiny little lot size. And so I cut mine out. I took mine out because there wasn't enough room for it. Well, now that I've moved to this new property, I have an acre. I knew I wanted a monster in here. So Vertigo pennisetum is going to be huge. It's a perennial for me. I cut it back in about February and then it'll come back and it's just a stunner. It is a stunner of a plant. You have to have enough room for it.
You know, it's so funny. And we were also talking in the car when we were on our way to the nursery about the fact that like, don't cut your grasses back too prematurely.
Don't cut them back.
Don't cut them back. It's like amazing winter texture. You get all of that interest. But I think it's, get ready to appreciate something different.
Yes.
You know, plants in all of its life cycles and forms, like let's just honor it.
Yes.
You know?
I agree. So it's a little brown, so it's a little rough around the edges. It is going to be amazing, and I promise you it will be absolutely amazing.
I totally agree.
Let me bring attention to my fig tree.
This is gorgeous.
Isn't it stunning?
Okay, look at your fig harvest.
Look at these. Oh I mean, I have so many figs, I don't know what to do with them.
Please tell me you have a fig and pig pizza on the horizon. Do you know about fig and pig pizza?
No, but it sounds delicious.
Yes, it's a pizza with prosciutto and figs.
Done.
Fig and pig pizza.
I have the
fig and pig pizza.
I mean,
this is so beautiful.
I obviously inherited this, but this is probably my favorite thing in the whole garden because how wonderful and how beautiful is it to have this and then to be able to eat off of this, to make jam for your family, you know, all that kind of, I just love it so much. And to me, it's so California and it's just, I just love it.
It's so statuesque.
Yes,
I love it. Statuesque.
Do you want to come in the backyard and see the greenhouse?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, so let me take you to a part of my side yard. And I feel very strongly about side yards because they are usually a throwaway area for a lot of people. A lot of people throw their junk in their side yards. because they're too narrow. There's nothing there. I think you can do so much with a side yard if you really think about it. So when I moved into this house, I thought, okay, my side yard on this property is north facing. It gets a lot of shade. So I wanted to make it my secret shade garden. So I added these trellises and this arch, and I have what's called Clematis armandii growing up it. And this is going to get 25 feet tall and wide. And it's going to grow so quickly. It has the most beautiful scented blooms in the early spring, but it's an evergreen, and it's going to cover this trellis. And so pretty soon, this is going to be a room that you walk in, and it just has shade everywhere. I didn't start my fountain for you guys. I'm sorry. Again, just a little late. Over here, I have a false hydrangea vine that is going to be climbing up my walls. I am a sucker for vining plants, 100%, and they are going to be beautiful. But that plant is one of the ultimate sleep, creep, leap plants. So I gotta get it. I have to give it 3 years to reach its full potential and start growing up the side of my home, which I feel very, very strongly about having something growing up the side of my side yard, because I just think that this is space that is going to be so wonderful.
I think this is also such a good tip. I know you're a huge fan of the vining plants based on your old home, and you had limited space there.
Yeah.
But I think this is so crucial if you have a townhome, if you have an inner city lot.
Yeah.
If you run out of ground space,
go up.
Go up, man.
Go up. Go up the walls, go up. Like, even if you just have an obelisk or a tour in the middle of your garden, in the middle of your patio, that's all the more flowers that you can have in a small, tiny space. And it just can create so much impact. And it's one of the reasons why I love vining plants.
You know what's so funny is we were out in the front garden, and I think one of the most beautiful things is you have that rose inside that rusted metal structure. And I use those in containers a lot too.
I love that.
Just to give myself a little bit of extra wiggle room.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, your garden almost needs more metal out there to echo and give like an inkling of what's going to happen in here, because this space is turning out very special.
This
is very special.
I mean, it's all a work in progress, right? Like I said, we've just moved in. This is the first real season that I've been in this garden, but I have to be honest, I'm further than I thought I would be at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited about it.
You have a lot of ground to cover.
I do.
And I think you need to give yourself a lot of grace and a lot of kudos, because a garden is a journey.
It's a lot.
But when you look back over the year, you're going to be like, dang, I did this.
Wow.
I did this.
So welcome to my back garden. So I live in California, and I live in a California ranch home. And California ranch homes are known for being kind of boring on the front. I live in what's called a rambler ranch. I know a lot of people think that it's mid-century modern, but it's actually called a rambler ranch. And they were developed on ranch properties in California, where these families, they were like big extended families, and it would just be this long, long home, but then it would curve around the back and it would kind of hug the backyard. And the goal was to bring the family into the backyard and bring everything into the backyard where the family can congregate and live, and their life took place in the backyard. So when I learned about a rambler ranch and the purpose of them, I wanted to do that in my own backyard. So this backyard, Kate, if you show back there where Brian's hanging out, Brian, don't run! Oh, dang it! Foiled again. So if you see back here, you can see my house kind of curves around, and I have my garage and I have my office here, and the whole thing just kind of encapsulates this back garden. So I knew I wanted this back garden to be kind of my working garden. And when I say working garden, you would think, oh, lots of vegetables, right? Well, I'm kind of a sucker for flowers. I love flowers. Look at my Canterbury bells. My campanula. Look at what I grew, guys. Look at what I grew. These bells are massive. They are massive. I'm obsessed. You should feel really proud of yourself. Thank you. Good job, girl. I really am. So I have these beds. These beds are actually from Amazon. Kate, you should link them down below. But they were $50. What they are is they're actually no-till garden beds. So I didn't want to commit to having beds in this place. I didn't want to put raised beds and put all the time and energy and money into putting beds right here because I just moved in here. I'm not totally sure how I want to use this garden. So what I did is I put down cardboard, and then I put down 6 inches of compost, and then I got these cheap metal beds just to hold that compost in place. But I am actually planting into my native ground. I'm planting into the compost and then letting the roots go down into the native ground, which is why I think my plants are doing so incredibly beautiful here. They're just loving their lives. But if I want to change it up, it's like I myself can pick up this planter and move it to another place if I decide that I don't like this layout. So Kate and I were talking about this a little bit before earlier today, that when I first moved into this property, my last house was a very traditional house and my garden was a very traditional garden. So when I moved into this property, that's what I was trying to force it into, was a traditional garden with lines and with, like very structured and symmetry and everything like that. And there was something missing and I didn't know what it was. I couldn't figure it out. And then this is right, Kate, how silly is this, right? But yeah. Kate, you understand.
I do.
The house started speaking to me and my garden started speaking to me and I started listening and I started realizing it's a Rambler Ranch. It doesn't want tradition. It wants family. It wants the community. It wants curved lines and it wants casualty and all that kind of stuff.
But I also think let's give honor to that process because I think we're like, oh, we're being so silly. But you know what? I feel like I was telling you in the car, I was like, let's honor that because homes speak to me all the time. Gardens speak to me all the time. And I used to think like, oh, I sound crazy. But at the end of the day, nature is alive, nature is speaking, and it just is a different language. And I feel just so proud that you are honoring what this home is asking you to provide and co-create. Because this is a co-creation. Instead of it being gardener doing things, you are now in the co-creation process. And I feel like I'm a proud mama like watching you emerge into who you are meant to be.
And I hadn't told Jason, my husband, about the house and the garden finally started speaking to me. I hadn't really discussed it with anybody until I just started discussing it with Kate. And she's the one who kind of put words to my thoughts of, I needed to take a step back and I needed to go through trying to force it into something it wasn't and recognizing this doesn't feel right. And I'm not totally sure what didn't feel right. So the whole developing a garden is a process and I am making mistakes left and right, but I'm learning from all the mistakes I'm making. And I feel like I'm a better gardener because I'm making these mistakes and I'm going through this experience of figuring out what this garden needs to be. And I'm having so much fun, by the way. It is a blast.
It shows. You know what I mean? And this is like, I love that we get to be on this journey with you too.
Thank you.
Okay, secretly mooey jealous. Mooey jealous is this. You guys, I just want to I want to go in and just take a moment. What's really amazing about this greenhouse is not only do you see it beautifully from the back of your home, but when you come in here, this gives you such a beautiful, just California moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like this, when I think of California.
Yeah. Yeah.
California rustic chic. This is so sensational. And this table, I just die over it.
I think I'm going to stain it dark. I think I'm going to stain it dark. I've been thinking about it and I've been, and I think it's asking for, can't you imagine that? Yeah. Just like super, super dark. I think it's just going to make everything pop and the terracotta pop off of it. So here in California, we get really, really hot. So we really don't use our greenhouses that much during the summer. So that's why I have a lot of my pots in here because I kind of want it to be a storage space, a space that I'm going to use, but it's, it's not as useful as it is in cooler parts of the country. I'm not going to let that stop me though. I am going to be hanging some shade cloth on the ceiling just to kind of keep everything cool, but I'm going to give the time it needs to kind of rest, and then come fall and winter and early spring, I'm going to be living in here basically.
Yes,
so
I agree.
It's just a really, really fun addition to this garden, and I feel so lucky to be able to have it. It is from Canopia, and it is the Triumph model, if you guys are wondering.
It is gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Can we check on the fairy garden?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but I actually got my start teaching edible gardening to kids.
So cute.
And gardening with children is such a beautiful journey. And I think that also what's really great about what you've done here is you've allowed your kids the freedom to play with their imagination.
Yep.
And I think that that is really hard.
Yep.
Because
I want to come in here and be like, oh, let's change this, or let's change this, or maybe you should pick this plant, and these are the plants that they wanted. We obviously will, oh my gosh, look at this weed. We obviously will change it up for summer. We need to change it up for summer and put some summer blooming plants in here. But one of the things that I love is it really features this olive tree right here. This beautiful, beautiful olive tree. The olive
is like perfectly arched over your head. This is just like picture perfect.
See, I'm actually listening to my garden these days.
She's communing. And she's communing with nature. It's happening.
Me back, right?
Oh.
So we found these cute doors and these cute windows for the fairies, and it's the cutest thing. So here in California, we have lots and lots of lizards.
Oh, I saw one coming through here.
They have taken over the fairy garden. The lizards live in the fairy garden. Can you see this window right here with the fairy sticking out?
Yeah.
Right? So we put this cute little thing right over this kind of knot in the wood. Oh, the lizards will go back there at night and sleep inside the fairy house, and it is the cutest thing you've ever seen. I'm
imagining like a lizard poking its head
out. And it just goes, and it's the funniest thing. And so it's like, well, is it still the fairy garden or is it the lizard garden now?
It's the lizard lounge.
It's the lizard lounge, exactly. It's just the funniest thing. It's so cute, and I love it. And again, it's my garden telling me what it wants to be, basically. Yeah. So back here, one of the things that I'm imagining for my greenhouse is to have a whole bunch of sunflowers just all around the back of it. Yeah. So I planted a lot of them. They're starting to bloom. A lot of them that I planted are branching sunflowers.
Oh, that's so great. I love it.
I can't not plant branching sunflowers because you get 10 times the amount of sunflowers for, way more bang for your buck. I have a couple single stem ones. You can see right here. This is only going to have one bloom head on it, but it's probably going to get huge and grow into this olive tree. But a lot of them are branching, and as the season goes on, we're going to get more and more and more sunflowers. And remember, our season is so long. Like my first frost doesn't come until the first week of December.
That is so bananas.
December. So these sunflowers are going to be going all through October, all through November, and then at the end of December, they're going to start fading.
So cool.
So when I have a branching sunflower that just keeps branching, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
What branching sunflowers are you?
So they're all different kinds. I think this one is strawberry field, strawberry lemonade, strawberry something. Cute. One of my favorite is a buttercream. I think this one's buttercream.
Oh yeah, that's just like really soft.
Light and soft.
There's one called I think it's Italian Ice. That's a really good one too.
I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that. Okay, so the newest members of our family, we have started growing our family. We started with a cat named Jeffrey, and then we got a dog named Monty, who's the cutest thing. Well, I should back up. First, we got two bunnies, one Hermione and one Annie. The cat Jeffrey, the dog Monty, and then we had to round it out with 3 beautiful silky chickens. Hi, girls. Hi. Come here, girls.
Okay, their little noises are so sweet.
So the black one, which is actually blue, it's called a blue color. Her name is Maisie. Hazel is the hazel colored one. And then if you pan to the left, allow me to introduce you. You see her?
Oh yeah, I see. Oh, she's running. I think they're a little afraid of new friends.
Yep.
Hi,
Do you see the white
babe.
one?
Yes.
Allow me to introduce you to Princess Fluffy Butt.
Princess Fluffy Buns. Hey, girl,
Yes.
hey.
So they're very sweet. They're still, they're still young. They're getting used to us. They like playing with the girls, but they are just the cutest cutie patooties, and I love them. And I never thought I would have chickens until I moved here, and then I was like, oh, I have to have chickens.
This is like California rustic chic.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't you love it?
I love it.
Look at the roof. I'm obsessed with the roof.
It's so fantastic.
I know.
It's so fantastic. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Like, we need little pops of galvanized. I know. Just kind of everywhere. It just it completes the story. And I love that you gussied up your chicken house.
Oh yeah. How could you not?
No, it's well, and also can we pay homage to this coop for a second?
I mean,
this thing is awesome.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It is absolutely stunning. Who did this?
So it's this company, and they send these coops in 4 walls and the floor. They send it on a pallet, and it already has the screws in it, and all you have to do is drill the screws in, and your coop is built. Like, Jason and I put this together in less than an hour.
That's awesome.
It's already painted. It was already painted. It was
already painted to match your house?
Painted. It was already painted.
That's genius.
You could get like a red and white one. You can get, I think, a gray one, and then I chose the little farmhouse kind of one.
It's so cute.
This little window. It's just so cute. So
I love it, and it's got a locked chicken box. It's actually, or a little egg box. Yeah, that's kind of great.
Yeah, my girls are too young. They're not laying any eggs yet, so we're not going to find anything in here. It's like, oh, I locked it. Hold on. No eggs yet.
When do you think they'll start laying?
So they are only about 10 weeks old, and they're not going to start laying until like 18, 19 weeks old. So, and silky chickens, they're not very prolific egg layers either. So, they're pets. I'll enjoy some eggs, but they're pets.
They're like first and foremost, they're pets.
Just like the bunnies and just like the cat.
If you get an egg, it's a bonus.
You know what? I love it. It's perfect. Kate, thank you so much for coming out to California. Like, talk about making a trek, but this is not enough time. You have to come back.
It's not enough time. I think we need another weekend, or we need like a Hello Garden, Dig Plant Water Repeat field trip.
100%. I'm down. You tell me when, and you tell me where, and I'm there. It'll be so fun.
I love this. Thank you for inviting us into your home. It's been so beautiful. Friends, go say hello to your garden for me. Loved having you.